My name's Dave Mellinger. I'm a professor at Oregon State University, and I study marine acoustics, especially marine mammal acoustics. This project was one done for the U.S. Navy in the Western Pacific near the Mariana Islands, and especially over the Mariana Deep. The Mariana Trench is the deepest point in the world's ocean. We have made recordings deep in the Mariana Trench, but we have by no means explored the whole thing. So we went to Guam to put the gliders in the water and deployed two of them on two different tracks around the Mariana Islands. But Ocean Glider is this cool robotic instrument that works by buoyancy changes, and it makes itself denser than water, and it has wings on the side, so it actually flies down in the water. We have a hydrophone attached to the glider, and the sound gets recorded onto some internal chips inside the glider. We don't know what the sounds are until we get the gliders back home and in the lab. When we started listening to these sounds, we heard some relatively familiar sounds like humpback whales and dolphin sounds, but we also ran across this very strange, unusual sound, which we later called the Western Pacific biotwang. We started hearing it and we're like, what the heck is that sound? We just had not heard this kind of thing before. And so we started looking for it, listening for it in our recordings, and found all these Western Pacific biotwangs occurring all over the place. We really didn't know what this was, but we started finding more and more of them. So it was a mystery sound. We didn't know what was making it. Nobody had ever reported this kind of sound before. One of the characteristics about it was that it was pretty irregular, and so that made us think that it was an animal of some sort. Man-made sounds tend to be very regular and repeatable. Things like sonar sounds that are made by ships and submarines and whatnot, and this was not perfectly repeating every time. But the complexity of this call kind of ruled out fish. Fish don't make very complex sounds, and this sound was very complex, one of the most complex ones we've ever seen. And then we looked at the frequency range of the sound. It's got a lot of low frequency components. And so that made us think baleen whale. There are two basic large groups of whales, which are the baleen whales and the toothed whales. And the baleen whales are the big ones like blue whales and so on. And they make the lowest frequency sounds. Some of the portions of the sound resembled that of minke whales, which have been heard in other parts of the Pacific, but other components of this call did not match minke whales at all. And so we were really not sure what we had. And you realize that there's a lot that we don't know about the oceans out there. So it's really cool to run across one of these things, to be able to say, okay, this is something new to science. Here, let's document it and report as much as we can find out about it. And maybe other people will find out even more. The ocean's a huge place. You know, it's 70% of the Earth's surface. If you think about, say, the number of vertebrates that are out there, 5,000 mammals, maybe 10,000 species of birds, and a few thousand reptiles and amphibians. But fish, there are more than 30,000 species of fish known. And fish do make sounds, and the amount of variety present in different kinds of fish sounds is staggering. We know very little about that. The amount of variety out there is just mind-blowing. The amount of stuff left to discover about the oceans is just incredible. So it's a pretty exciting area to be doing research in.